was definitely a shock. I mean, I knew I had put in enough effort to secure a decent to good rank, and I was hoping for the top 100, but definitely rank 1 would take anyone by surprise. And it's yet to sink in, of course. I mean, it's not something that sinks in very easily. So until I actually go to NLS, I'm sure it's not going to fully hit me.
Even in NLS, I don't think they're going to make you forget it that easily.
Yeah, apparently in NLS we have something called a rank system. So like you have a rank daddy is what it's called.
Yes,
so
you have a rank father or a rank mother.
Yeah, rank 1 mentors you or something like that. So yeah.
Yes, I didn't mean it in that sense though.
And yeah, either ways they probably won't let me forget it.
Yes, they'll pull your leg, or they'll make you believe that you did not deserve it.
There's probably going to be an extra bit of there'll be an extra bit of ragging, I'm sure, just because of the
Yes, I didn't want to use that word. What stood to your advantage? What do you think worked for you?
Well, to go a bit in detail, one thing was consistency. When it came to the GK section, my current affair preparation started all the way in October, and I would put in hours every single day for GK, and that worked to my advantage because this year there was quite a bit of current affairs, so you needed a wide pool of knowledge, and that really helped me. Another thing was I know a lot of people say you need practice every week to keep a subject at bay, but what I did was I was thorough in legal and logic sometime in November, December itself. So what happened was I was completely thorough in those two sections back in December, so I was confident in 90 marks out of, so almost half the paper was done for me. So that is one strategy that I used, that is finishing two very, very important sections and simultaneously doing GK.
Yes.
So what happened was towards the end I only needed to do math and like static GK and just a bit of revision.
Alright. So did you find the CLAT Possible kit sufficient? Did you feel the need to use any other materials or join any other test series, or do you think that for a person who's consistent this would be enough as a kit?
Definitely, the test series was extremely helpful, not only because of the quality of questions, but several things. For example, the platform was very helpful, the quality of questions was helpful, and the key to any mock is the analysis. So the way the analysis was presented also was very helpful, and something that CLAT Possible has is something known as the right to query, which gives you a platform to clarify your doubts online. So that was as a whole, it was a very comprehensive mock test, so it helped in all aspects.
What were your fears? As in, what were you unsure of towards the end, and how did you tackle them?
My fears at the beginning, before I started prep, was general knowledge, because as any normal individual, my general knowledge was horrible. It would go as bad as if someone were to ask me the vice president 2 years back, I wouldn't know. That's how pathetic my situation was. So at the beginning, definitely general knowledge.
So you were the Alia Bhatt of
let's not say anything, but I was pretty bad at GK.
Right, and I think she did not know the name of the president.
Yeah, something of that sort.
Little better off.
And towards the end, I guess vocabulary, because my vocab is not too strong. I mean, I think I speak English sufficiently well, but my vocabulary isn't too good.
Yes, one wouldn't realize, listening to you, that you would say vocabulary was a fear.
Yeah, that's one misconception. People think if you speak well, your aptitude in an English paper is good, but that's definitely not the case.
How did you ensure that you had the sufficient number of words in your kitty before the paper?
Well, the thing about vocab is, like GK, you need consistency. Just 1 month before the exam, you can't say, okay, I'm going to mug up 5,000 words. It doesn't work that way. You start consistently learning words back a year back.
Any last minute tips that you want to give to the students?
Well, to go into general tips, firstly, I would say, if this works for you, because it's something that worked brilliantly for me, is find a study partner. Because towards the end, say around Feb, March, I was getting I was unnaturally getting frustrated. My motivation was dying. I was getting fed up. But what a study partner does is it makes stuff like solving math for 8 hours a day much more interesting. Also, we would analyze our mocks together. It just also gives you that slight competitive edge. That's one thing. Secondly is something that people often neglect, and that's having a mentor. Find someone either in a coaching institute or in a law school, some senior, someone you know, because they not only help give you tips and how to prepare, they also keep you motivated.
Morale high.
Yeah, and lastly, probably the most important tip is staying calm during the exam. For example, now since it's a computer-based test, we have to enter much earlier. For me, I had to enter I was seated in front of my computer 1.5 hours before the thing. So all I could do for 1.5 hours was sit and stare at a computer screen with my picture on it. That's all I could do for 1.5 hours. So naturally, that will get to you. I mean, that's something that will psych you out. You're about to write the most important exam of your life, and all you can do is stare at a computer screen. So that is one thing that people need to prepare themselves for. There's I can't say do this and you'll be fine. You need to just prepare yourself and accept the fact that this is going to happen. You need to be ready for it. So that one, if you're calm, then half the battle is won. If you're not, then you won't be able to do it as well as you could. The paper.
So there were two things that came out in your answer, and I want to quickly run into those sub questions. One is the development of frustration, because this is an annual paper. It's not as if it's a biannual paper. So sometimes students put in a whole year to prepare for the whole thing, and somewhere in the middle, the momentum dies because of development of lethargy, monotony, and frustration. So, do you think this preparation requires the rigor of a whole year, or should a person occupy himself with other things?
Well, definitely. Again, there's no one size fits all here. Everyone has their own approach.
Yeah.
For example, I would study a lot, but I would make sure I go out almost every day. I would meet a friend for coffee. I would go for a drive. I would do something because
So
you
these
need
things
that
are
break.
normal. You can enjoy yourself.
It's not like
also.
lock yourself up and study for 14 hours. Even in April, just before the exam, that doesn't work. I would go for the occasional walk. I would go have a cup of tea. So you need that break, definitely. Otherwise, your efficiency goes down, right? You won't soak in as much naturally.
You feel that math is an important subject too. It's not just 20 marks. There is math and logical reasoning as well. So people need to focus on math and not leave it in
Definitely,
entirety.
that's something I can't stress on enough, because this whole "it's just math" is a very bad idea that people get, because since people say this, half the population of CLAT just like neglects it. You know what I mean? So often it's a make or break section, especially this year. It was a very big decider. So certain strategies I would give for math is A, focus on core chapters. Okay, math is definitely hard. You will have 2 or 3 difficult questions, but there's no point, because it doesn't, if working on those chapters won't get you the benefits with regards to the time. So work on your core chapters, work on all your basics covered in 10th, and that will easily secure a 14 or 15. After that, you begin your uphill journey. Moving on, something that worked well for me in math is I would keep a lot of time for math. What happened this year was I had 40 minutes left and only math. So with this amount of time, no matter how difficult a sum is, you will get it somehow, because when you have this time, you can employ certain trick methods such as going backwards using the answer options, eliminating answer options. So you can, even if you don't know a question, I would substitute the answer in the question and go backwards.
Yes.
So you reach a stage where if you have time, no matter what, you will be able to solve it.
Right. So did the easy paper take you by surprise?
More of a pleasant surprise, I would say, because although an easy paper is easy for everyone, it definitely boosts your morale. Even if it's a difficult paper, it is difficult for everyone, but it definitely just kills your motivation a bit. So even during the paper, I could acknowledge that it was an easy paper, and I definitely felt happy.
So that helped you choose the number of attempts also, because you would have realized that an easy paper means you'd have to go overboard.
That's actually one thing that I did was I always attempted max questions, because for me as a person, I believe that I'm good at intelligent guessing. So intelligent guessing is something that always worked for me, so I would always attempt more questions, but in this paper I attempted 198 in fact. So that definitely helped for me, yeah.
Almost perfect attempt. Viraj has summed it up in a great manner. You have to pay attention to vocabulary, start right from the beginning, consult vocabulary book and stick to it, revise daily, right? A mentor helps.
Yes, mentor
and
helps.
Reach out to your mentor. Do not stay, curl up and sit in a room. Rather speak out. Talk to your mentor on a daily basis, even if it is just to boost your morale. And do not neglect maths. So these are some of the key points. I'm sure other points have been covered vastly by many toppers year on year. But if a person can go down to the basics as do math daily, do vocabulary daily, that just about sums up how you can secure rank 1.